Hello, today we'll be talking about the antiques I own from the Soviet era and Eastern Bloc. Now, to start off, I will be showing my Soviet era binoculars. The string is not actually original. It used a leather, I think it was leather, it may be fake leather. Either way, the leather itself was extremely damaged and it broke, so I've replaced it with string. Later on the actual binoculars though, the original leather is still there and it's the exact same type, so I'll be able to show you. As you can see on the case, it uses quite a nice leather. Unfortunately, some of the colours gone away over time. This, I think, would be something around the 70s, but I'm not completely sure. Now, as you can see, it's the same leather all around. They use heavy stitching to hold the parts together. They do the same here, and then on here, they use these nail parts, like a bolt. I'm not sure exactly how they cross in, if they screw into something else, but they're attached there. This is so when you open it, it goes like that. So you can see on the inside, easy system, just pops in and out. And it's a nice sort of red felt. I'll show the binoculars now. On the inside, as you can see, it's just red. This nice felt for material. So this would have kept the binoculars safe. They wouldn't have gone scratched from this. Now, here you can see very clearly, this is where they would have gone into, the screws at the back here. This held them in place. That's about all I've got to talk about the case. Binoculars themselves, this is where it gets interesting. So you can see here, this is the leather bit that you'd wear around your neck. So if you're wearing these separately from the case. However, mine's damaged here. As I said, the leather is extremely old, so it's quite weak. I don't personally trust the leather itself, I never put on. Now, as you can see, the binoculars, pretty standard looking. You can bring them like this if you have very far apart eyes, or like this to keep them close. So you can bring them up to your face. Now, on the other side, you can see it's got yellow glass. This is done so if you're looking through, the sun catches the glass, it's not suddenly going to hit me with a bright shine in my eyes. It makes it a bit harder to see, I will admit, but overall I prefer it because if you're in a sunny area, it is extremely useful to have. Now on here, you can see some lettering in Cyrillic. I don't actually remember what it means, unfortunately. And there, it says made in USSR, which definitely means before 1991. I think it's around the 70s this was made. Here it's got things for focusing, and here as well, which is quite good. Overall, very standard set of binoculars, nothing too much to them really. Quite basic, quite useful. Good pair. If you're collecting just for you want to have in your collection, worth getting. I got these for £20, which I think is a good price. If you're getting them for some sort of Soviet kit, they're not accurate in the slightest. They're civilian issue, not military. However, as a replacement, they do work. Because as you can see, with my case, for example, if you want to have actual leather, you can wear it over, put it under your collar here. I'll fold this down a bit. And that would hold my binoculars up here. So you could use them as a replacement for actual binoculars, because I think these are quite easy to get from what I've seen online. But I would go for a proper kit more. This is really just a nice piece to have in your collection. Our next piece is quite a small thing, but it's quite cool, I think. This is extremely simple, but it's quite cool. Is that the right round? This is the right round. This would be a cap badge for things like the Pilotka caps, which are the off-duty caps, similar to the M40s used by the British Army up until, I believe, about 50s, 60s maybe? I'm not sure specifically which era. This would be late 1960s, I think. Before that, they used an enamel, which had a different shade of red. I think the whole thing was red except for the hammer and sickle. It's meant to have two bits that bend outward, which you'd use to put it in there, but this one's broken off. As you can see, if I bring it close, all of that's painted. The actual red, that's not on the actual part, it's just cheap paint on there. It's also not brass. I think it may be tin, potentially, I'm not sure. But what I know is it's a very cheap metal, which, of course, is kind of expected. And the final item. This is a Cold War medal from the Polish police. As you can see on there, it's got the eagle, and it says on the front, "W służbie narodu," in service to the nation. The ribbon itself is damaged here. This I can sew together, but I haven't done it, since I'm not very good at that. I'll do it later on, most likely. So if I fold it in, you can see sort of it would go in like that a bit. It's a very simple hanging system. This is for some reason attached together on the top, despite never being attached to any bar that I own. I never had it on a medal bar. I'm not sure what the hanging system would have been, but I assume it would be a Knorr hanging system. Maybe one that you slide on, but I think it's one that you actually pull the thing through and then sew it on itself. So I find it very weird that it's done like that. As you can see, use a hoop to go around, and on the other side it says MSW, and then it's got writing around the sides. This was issued to police during the Cold War, well, Polish police specifically. This is a 10 years service version, so in brass, or bronze. I think it may have been brass, this one. They have it in silver and gold for 10, 20 and 30 years service. This is only for 10 years service, however. You can see in photos of the police, they have this quite often, since all of them would have served for a fair amount of time. I got it for £10, so quite cheap. It's not good for any reenactment purposes, it's just for collecting, but if you're collecting, I'd get it personally. That about wraps up all the equipment. However, soon I should be getting a Hungarian helmet, an M50/70, which I will be making a video of. That should be sometime this week, but it could end up going into next week, depending. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed and have a good day.